Welcome to the Sportz Phenz Show. The show where, just like you, we can't get enough sports.
The 47-year wait is over! And the Nuggets win it! Wilson throwing, it's up for grabs, it is caught for the touchdown! And the Denver Broncos have taken Super Bowl 50. To the Avalanche are 2022 Stanley Cup champions! And a shot into the back of the net for Diego Rubio!
Now here's your hosts, Arthur Knight and Larry Perkins.
1-0 Rapids. They are champions.
Yeah. What's up? I am Arthur Knight. This is Larry Perkins.
That's
Welcome
me,
to the
baby.
Sportz Phenz. We are coming to you live from Sohai Cafe at 4300 West Alameda, off the corner of West Alameda and Stewart. Come on by and say what's up to Vinny to get you some Viper Pit barbecue. We got some burn-ins today. I think he's usually always got mac and cheese, but, come by and get you some ribs. Find him on Facebook, Viper Pit Barbecue. And where else? I want to get them all. Instagram. Don't forget the IG. My guy's got all kinds of pictures of his food and whatnot up on there. Come on by. Tell him that the Sportz Phenz sent you. You will not be disappointed. All right. So as the Olympics are wrapping up today, the closing ceremonies I believe are going on as we speak. We got it kind of over in our TV over there a little bit, Larry. So
yeah, this is one of the most memorable ones,
It is. This was a pretty good one. A lot of firsts. A lot of, just a lot of controversy.
Exactly.
A lot of, it had a little bit of everything. There was a little drama.
Yeah.
There's a little. It had a little of everything, man. And the United States, and I don't want to be cocky as this fool tells me I'm cold and cocky.
Cold, cocky.
I'm okay with that, though. I'll be that.
I call him Triple C.
I'll be that.
He's a cold, cocky customer, bro. He's a Triple C up in here, boy.
Hey, man, I got love for my country. My country doesn't love me all the time, but I do got love for my country. U.S., as usual, per the norm, we knocked it out the park with 126 medals.
That was awesome.
40 of those being gold, 44 of those being silver, and 42 of those being bronze. We did tie with China on gold medals with 40 gold medals. China was right there with 27, but they didn't get the silver and the United States basically was like, okay, we're going to get as many gold medals as we can, but we're going to sweep in silver and bronze.
Exactly what they did too.
Yeah, because everybody else,
they silvered and they bronzed everybody.
with the exception of China, every team from Japan down, maybe France. France got a lot of silver and bronze medals, but they only got 16 gold medals in their home country. That's sad, France. Sorry, French people. That sucks.
I mean, that's not the worst, but that wasn't.
No, that's not the worst. But that was the worst ever to be hosting.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's not the worst.
Because France is in 5th place with only 64 total medals. I mean, they did clean it up a little bit with.
If you're in the top
silver.
5, that's what I give you that. Some people say you got to be at least. If you hosted at least top 3,
that's how I feel.
They was they was all the way top 3. No, France was they was top 3 all the way to the
until
closing,
they weren't
until the closing.
They were top 3 until they weren't anymore, and then they dropped to 5.
They was top 3 until yesterday.
Yeah, and the only reason why Australia edges them out is because Australia has 2 more gold medals than they do, but they also have 10 less medals in general. So. Gold medals obviously mean a lot. If you can get 2 more gold medals and be 10 less, win 10 less medals, and still be above somebody who has 10 more medals than you, just like that boggles the mind. But that also means that gold medals mean a lot. Japan got 20 gold medals. They only had 45 overall medals. That's even 10 less than That's almost 20 less than France. In France, I'm sorry, France. I shouldn't pick on y'all too much.
They used to it historically.
That's cold-blooded, man. See, and I'm cold. I'm the cold one. Remember that one, America. All right. Anyway, so
I know all about that.
So, the top 10 rounded out. Okay, let's just do the top 10 in medals. United States, China, Japan, Australia, France, Netherlands, Great Britain, South Korea, Italy, and Germany. And mad respect to Serbia, the way they handled, just to segue really into basketball, because that's what we want to talk about anyway. Big ups to Serbia, man. And I'm not just saying that because my favorite player whose jersey I'm wearing is on that team. No, I mean, honestly, big ups, dude, because they really, to me, they drew the short straw. The gold medal championship game was played before it was played. Does that make sense? Like, it was played 2 days before the actual gold medal. Serbia actually did deserve to be in the gold medal round. They just drew the short straw that they were in the group with the U.S. Starting out. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, if they had been in the same grouping as like France and Germany would not have, neither one of them would have been able to beat Serbia. Serbia was the toughest team, the U.S. men's team that they had to face.
Man, that French team, boy, that French team was no slouch.
No, but they stayed ahead of them the entire game. It was like, for instance, it's kind of like the way the Nuggets do your Lakers. It's like
There we go.
They go.
There we go. It's okay.
You're as cold as ice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Said,
so. But in all seriousness, all jokes aside, any team. Let's just put any team. When a championship pedigree team, like the Lakers of old. You could even consider the Lakers of old, right? When you got your foot on the opponent's neck, you keep your foot on the neck.
Got to.
And even if they make a run and try to put it, into single digits or, down to 7 points, 6 points, 4 points, a true championship pedigree team is like, oh, that's cute. Back up to 10, back up to 15,
right.
Back up to 20. That's what the U.S. men's team kind of did. They never really got to that 20 mark or that 15 mark, but every time France made a run and was like, all right, big brother, here we come. Big brother was like, pat him on the head. Okay, that was cute. Here we go.
That was fun, though.
It was an amazing game to watch. And France is on the cusp of being there. But if I'm worried about a team coming into the 2028 Olympics, it's not France. France is kind of young. France is young,
Okay.
but they're not as old as the U.S., but they're not as young as Serbia either. Serbia has a core team. That team that almost beat the U.S. men's team in the semifinal round, average age, I believe, is like 25, 26 years old. That means that in 4 years, they're all still going to be in their late 20s,
But
for the most part.
But the Joker, it depends because he's a big part of their team, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it basically depends on if he decides he want to play for Serbia in 2028. If he do play, okay. But if he don't play,
he's going to play.
Okay.
It's that's going to be their opportunity. This is why I say that. This is going to be their opportunity in 4 years. It's going to be Serbia's opportunity to get at least a silver medal in the next Olympics, at bare minimum. Because the USA men's team,
right?
LeBron's not going to be there. Most likely Curry's not going to be there.
At least about seven players is not going to be there.
Exactly, and most of them are the start. You're going to have Anthony Edwards.
He might.
You're going to have Halliburton.
Booker,
you may
probably
have White. You're going to have Booker, right?
But other than,
that's about it. Like, name me some other play. AD, maybe.
He won't. If LeBron won't, he won't.
Yeah, I know. That's probably true. He's probably only there because of LeBron, even though he did play really well.
Yeah, if Daddy don't play, son ain't playing.
You cold. But AD, he played incredible in the Olympics. It's like, where's that guy? when LA needs him. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, only thing I'm saying is like 4 years is, especially playing a sport, it's miles away. Well, we don't know what.
No, we don't. But the what I'm saying is that the cores of these teams, like barring any injuries, God forbid any of these teams get injuries, France will be right there. Serbia will be right there. Germany will be right there, because then there's another team that's really, really young. A lot of people don't realize, but the Wagner brothers, or however you say their names in America, it's Wagner. But the Wagner brothers, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
They're young too. That core of that team is extremely young. Not to say that USA is not going to come in and do what USA does. It's just that the face of that team is going to change. You still have Tatum. Embiid probably will not play, right? And if he does, he'll probably play for France this time.
Bam probably won't.
You might have Bam. You might, depending on who the coach is. Maybe if it's Spoelstra. But in 4 years, we don't know who's going to be. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, but those are the aged guys that are going to be on that team. Is the point?
Right. We're talking age.
We're talking age, experience. Who's going to be on that team in 4 years, just based upon how old they are? Because we already know LeBron's this is his last hurrah. That's really why they wanted to win that gold so badly, which is also why, and it makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth to say this, he was the best player throughout the entire. He was the most even keeled. Besides, Booker was at one point in time, and that really makes me throw up a little bit in my mouth.
Damn, you just throwing up.
But the fact of the matter is he was the most consistent player on the team. That's why he started damn near every game, if not every game. But he did kind of fall he got in foul trouble in that last game. He got in a little bit of foul trouble, and he kind of fell back a little bit. He still played hard. Don't get me wrong. They all played hard, but he didn't play like he had been playing up until then. He started playing careful. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't foul out or cause any adverse actions. But the bottom line is, man, is I think that Serbia, when they played the U.S. to go to the gold round, that was the gold round and the gold standard. Like, honestly, they gave the USA men's team everything they could and more. And it took every ounce of heroics from an all-star packed NBA team to beat that team. Like, it didn't just take heroics from Chef Curry.
No.
Even though we're going to get into that, because I want to talk about how he did single-handedly shut the door on France.
Yeah. He did. I mean,
but in that game against Serbia in particular, it took LeBron, it took KD, it took Curry, it took defense by AD, it took defense by Embiid. Like, and here's the last thing I'm gonna say before we move on to the French, the actual gold medal. Here's the two things that I took away from the American versus Serbia team. One, Jokic is the best basketball player on the face of the planet, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. And two,
better than Curry?
Embiid is better than I gave him credit for, and most people gave him credit for, because his defense on Jokic in the final like quarter of the game, in order for US to win that game, is what helped win that game. Because usually Jokic will just take over a game like that. He's the best at wasting time. He's the best at executing the perfect plays to eat the clock and take a high percentage shot. He is the best at that. And Embiid took him out of his game just a little bit, just enough. Now, if this was an NBA game and there was 8 more minutes to play, I think that Jokic probably wins out that battle in the end. But because of the shortened game, because Embiid played that what the Nugget style basketball in the last, that crunch time defense, he didn't shut him down, but he basically moved him off his spot just enough that the American team could, win the game.
It is amazing to me We're talking Olympic basketball.
Yes.
And this man has the audacity to bring the Nuggets into this. We're actually talking about the Nuggets during an Olympic closing ceremony, ladies and gentlemen, on a Sunday. And I tell you, this is fandom.
Oh, Mark is speaking up in the
fandom.
Fandom. Okay. This is fandom for me.
Yes, it is. It should be the Denver Olympics.
Okay, that was the most. I can't use the.
Yes, this
statement.
is a this is a child-friendly.
That was dumb.
Show.
That was the dumbest statement ever. I was actually giving Embiid his flowers.
No, don't.
Yeah,
don't
I was giving Embiid his flowers.
I mean,
they're the two best centers. They're the two best big men in the world.
I'm just stating the obvious.
And there's been an argument and a debate between who's the better, and hands down, Jokic
Embiid
proved.
is not better.
Jokic has proved now, but there's a debate whether your opinion is the same as mine. Embiid is not the better of the two, but there is a debate, and that's what I'm saying is that in conclusion of that debate, to me, is Jokic proved in that game that he is hands down the best basketball player, if not the best center in the world. Okay, but I wanted to give Embiid his flowers because he played a lot better than I thought he was capable of playing, especially against Jokic. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not being a homer. This isn't fandom. This is fandom of basketball.
It's okay. It's okay.
If you want to go there,
I'm not getting on you, man. I'm not getting. I'm just saying this. But I hear the Nuggets names. It could have been just.
Embiid doesn't play for the Nuggets,
It
bro.
could have just been said Jokic. It could have been.
And Jokic doesn't play for USA. He plays for Serbia. But Serbia.
I could have just kept it as Serbia.
Serbia is going to be that next team that is going to be facing the United States.
Right.
Olympic year in and Olympic year out. You mark my words. I said it first.
All right, Mark. Mark his words.
Speaking of Mark, he's on here. He said Bam is too old for next Olympics.
Thank you.
You might be right on that. But he could be on the team. We'll see. Give Booker some flowers. I thought I just did.
You did.
Let's see. Okay, that's it. And Kevin Durant don't care what y'all lames think. Yeah, that's fair.
He don't care.
That's fair. He wasn't even. He was a hero a little bit in that Serbia game because he did hit the clinching point to close the door. But KD didn't play like KD, and that should worry Phoenix fans. And that he's not. He
wasn't
not,
even into it.
He really wasn't. His body language was like, you know what? I'm gonna let these. And it could be that I'm gonna let these young guys, get their shine. It could be that, but knowing him, no, he just wasn't. He was disinterested, or he's injured. And and that's why they kept him out for quite a while.
It was the chef show.
It was. Speaking of the chef show, thank you for that. Chef Curry was cooking, and he dug deep in his bag, pulled out all the seasonings, and put it all in a pot, and closed the door on the French team. Man, like I've never seen one person even, and I'm not trying to compare him to Michael Jordan. I'm really not. But I don't even think I've seen one person close the door on a team so hard. Like, so hard. He ripped the heart out of that French team. Like, in the last 2 minutes, nobody was better. Nobody was better. I have to give Curry his flowers. My daughter and I were watching the game, and that last shot, that last three that he made, that one over two players, one of which I think was the Awful Tower. I'm not sure. It could have been Wemby. I'm gonna have to go back and watch, but it was definitely one of their centers, one of their tall centers.
I think
he did like a jab step.
It was whatchamacallit from Minnesota Timberwolves.
Okay, the Awful Tower. That's.
Oh yeah, okay.
They call him the Eiffel or the Stifle Tower. I call him the Awful Tower. Because he has no offense, man. He's just tall, and he can dunk the ball. He plays good defense. Like
I was checking out this one dude, Gershon Yabusele or whatever, that dunk on LeBron in the second. I mean, did you see that?
Oh yes,
man.
I sent a text to Mark, dude. As soon as that went down, I was like, I sent him the eye popping emoji. I was like, did LeBron James just get dunked on?
He got banked on.
He dunked on LeBron James.
Like,
you know what, though? LeBron played his best brand of basketball after that, though. He was all up in that dude's chili after that. Yep. He was like, oh, okay, young fella.
He's straight. The thing is, he tried to draw a charge.
He did, but he got dunked on. Because he only half-heartedly tried to draw that charge, dog. He really only half-heartedly did that. Because if you watch the replay, he went for the charge and then he kind of leaned back. He did like the Fat Joe. He was like, lean back, lean back, lean back. He didn't really wholeheartedly. If he had stood his ground, he probably would have gotten that charge. But because he did
whatchamacallit came,
lean back, lean back. Because he did that, he got the foul and he got dunked on. Like
he said, Monsieur.
He said, pardon-moi, monsieur.
I'm Gershon, if you don't know. I would dunk it on you.
Hey, man, I'm not cheering for Serbia, Mark. I just want to make sure that people know that Serbia is young, and they are going to be the toughest out the U.S. men's team is going to have to face in 4 years, period. That's all I'm saying. I am not cheering for Serbia. I cheered for them to beat Germany. I did cheer them on to win a bronze, but I didn't cheer for them to beat the U.S. like in any way, shape, or form. I was rooting for the U.S. team to beat them. I was very sad in the first 3 quarters when they were basically manhandling the U.S. men's team. It took, like I said, a lot of heroics from a lot of all-star caliber NBA best in the world players to beat a team that's young and experienced, but not experienced as much as the U.S. men's team is. But they have that experience now. They got a taste of that bronze medal. I'm just saying, man, they got a taste of that.
Got that last place.
They were this close. That's not last place. That's third place, brother. Second place is last place. I mean, if you're thinking of like Ricky Bobby, but
I'm talking about between the three. What? Well,
that's still not last place to me. That's third place. To medal in the Olympic Games, period, except for here maybe. Is quite an achievement. I don't care if you do win bronze, silver, or gold. The only reason why the American men's team in basketball are so held to such a higher standard is because they are professional, best players in the world. The best players in the world don't leave America to go to play in the European leagues and the Asia leagues or in Australia.
Right.
Those are the people that go there to get better, to come back to America and play in the NBA. So when we send people over, we're sending players. I'm just saying we're sending players that are literally the best in the world. The best in the world.
Right. But I'm just saying professionally wise, players that leave U.S. and go play overseas, their career probably had, took a swan dive.
Most of them don't make it back.
Right, they don't.
Most of them don't make it back. With all of that said, I believe that the USA men's team will still be the dominant team.
Always.
Because that crop coming up, I can think of quite a few players that play in the NBA that didn't get to play this year because of a Steph Curry, because of Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
That's gonna
all these players that are not going to be there is going to give rise to those players. What's that kid's name that plays plays for Atlanta?
Trae Young.
Trae Young. That's going to give the doors open for him to step in and step up into that Chef Curry role, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
He ain't no Steph.
But he's on the rise of that. Right. He's on the rise of that. He just needs a better coach. If he was playing for Golden State or Kerr, or let's say he went to Miami or something, that kid he'd be, in that talk of getting there.
Yeah.
He needs to step up his defensive game, because that's one thing that I saw also from Steph Curry in that game, that gold medal game. He not only made the heroic last 4 or 5 3-point shots to
he made like 7 altogether.
win the game. Well, I think it was more like 9, but either way, he also made the last defensive steal to kill the game. Like, there was only like 5 seconds left on the clock. He just stole the ball, held on to it. You know what I'm saying?
Put it to sleep.
And and then did the Betty bye.
Put it to sleep.
And that's it. That was all. So I have to give Steph Curry his credit, his flowers, because my guy really did play hero ball at the end. Nobody else could buy a shot. It seemed like the rest of the team was exhausted. But these jab step, like, literally he was in his bag, man. I don't care what nobody says. Curry was out there practicing. He was out there practicing when the gold medal was on the line. He's out there practicing, doing jab steps. You know,
I mean, I haven't seen I'm an old head. I haven't seen nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of great shooters in my time. But in that time when we watched basketball play, they were specialists. I mean, I watched Dale Curry, I watched Glenn Rice, all these guys, Mark Price, Steve Kerr, you know what I'm saying? All these great, shooters, snipers, Reggie Miller, you know what I'm saying? But you have to put him in a whole category. I mean, the way
he went unconscious, dude. Like, honestly, you're absolutely right. He went to a whole different level of everybody. And it was just like, dang. Like, I always knew he was great. I can't stand him because he plays for Golden State. He doesn't play for my team. And that Golden State has been a bane of our existence. Yes, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, we can't forget. He was Steph before he was Steph. Thank you, Mark. But yeah, those type of sharpshooters. But even Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf never did what Curry did yesterday, man. Like, he just didn't. He did open that doorway, and he was Steph before he was, Steph was Steph. But the bottom line is Steph literally took that game when everybody else seemed like they were tired, and he took that game over.
Too bad.
Put the whole team, put his whole country on his shoulders, and won that game because France did make a couple of last gasp push.
What do you like in this game too? I mean, for us a short comparison, for us, like, because me personally, I feel that it was like a finals game.
It was.
Yeah, that's how I felt. It was. It was
like a game 7. It was like a game 7 almost.
It was a lot of hard-hitting plays on both sides. I mean, Wemby, the highest scorer in the game, was awesome. Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
I mean, he was awesome. And they had whatchamacallit. I didn't even know Evan Fournier with the Knicks and stuff.
Yeah, he played really well.
Evan Fournier.
He used to play for the Nuggets.
Frank what is it? Nidaskidi? I can't.
Skidishvili.
Yeah,
Skidishvili.
Yeah, he was good. That dude DeCola. So they had a lot of NBA players there, but that was a hard fought game.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a good game to watch, especially since France did play, as Mark had adequately texted me that morning when we were watching the game. He was like, man, France is playing some spirited basketball, and he was right. But then I responded to him like, you're absolutely right, but this U.S. men's team seems like they were locked in. Like, they really did. They were not going to let France beat them, no matter what. Another thing I take away from that game is Anthony Edwards is just a dude right now. Like, he's not there. Like, they were trying to crown him as the new Michael Jordan or the new face of the league. And
well, in his defense, he is given much respect, and he even said it in interviews. He's given much respect to his elders, and he's taking a back
but
seat.
He shouldn't. But when you're on the court, though, and you're not with KD, and
Michael
you're not
Jordan
with
wouldn't do that.
No, man, you go
I
out
don't
there and
care.
you show up and show out, man. That's what you
Right.
do. If you want to be the greatest and you want to be great,
Kobe
period.
wouldn't have did that.
Kobe wouldn't have did that.
It's like, I respect you, but I'm finna do me.
The only one that does do that, take a back seat to his teammates, is LeBron. But even LeBron has that killer instinct of, nah, I'm about to come out here and I'm about to score.
He was like a bulldozer. He was just bulldozing his way to the basket.
He was. But Booker seemed like he was more ready to be the face. I liked the pick of what was his name from Milwaukee. Why can't I think of his name? He started point guard for a couple of games. For the
Drew
US
Holiday.
Drew Holiday, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. He's not going to be on the team in 4 years either. He's an older player. I believe that Devin Booker will actually be the face of U.S. men's basketball in 4 years. Period.
Yeah.
It will not be AE. It will not be Anthony Edwards. It's going to be Devin Booker. Bottom line. And even Halliburton, depending on how he grows as a player in 4 years, could be that guy. Could be that guy that is the face of U.S. men's basketball.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, unless AE steps up and shows me something over the next 4 years, like maybe wins a championship in the NBA, and he was like the MVP or should have been the MVP or something to that magnitude, because he shouldn't have taken a back seat at all whatsoever to anybody on this team. If you want to be the man, you got to step up and show. You can't detract into yourself when you're surrounded by other stars.
He'll learn.
He's got to.
He'll learn.
He's got to. But that showed me where he's at in his maturation. You know what I mean? Like his maturity level is not there. Because when he was on the court, he played excellent defense. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not trying to pick apart the U.S. men's team. Please don't, put me up on the cross. This is not a dismantle of the team. It's just that he didn't show me in that game that he has killer instinct, period. Because he played in that France game, and I don't think he scored at all. If he did, he scored like maybe 5 points.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Edwards, I personally feel that, it's like how we was talking about his comments.
Mm-hmm.
I personally I would have just took control, but it's one thing to respect. I give him that, and I respect the elder statesmen and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll learn. He'll that's probably one thing he regret. He'll probably in the future, it's like I should have been more, even though respectfully I would have been more active.
Yeah, but
it's no excuse. I mean. But
what you gonna do? What you gonna do in the NBA Finals if you're facing,
believe me,
some of these players that you gonna have the killer instinct to go after them? Now, granted, they're on your team, so it's a little hard.
Team.
It's a little harder to have that.
That's his team.
But you should have. I don't know. I just feel like he could have stepped up a lot more, and if he had stepped up, and a couple of other players, even Bam Adebayo. Some of these other players that were bench players, if they had played a little bit better, none of these games would have been close.
No, that's why.
Like, they honestly would have blown most of the world out, including Serbia, but they didn't. Their bench didn't play very well.
It's kind of hard because, I was about to get on that old head, horse and say, man, the 92, man, that's why I can't put nobody, ahead of the 92 Olympics. But you got to understand one thing. The competition now is way better than it was back then.
I wouldn't say it's better, but it's different. It's different. Because I've heard that argument that the world is better.
Why wouldn't it not be better?
Because of the fact that the game is just different. The FIBA game is completely, if they played by NBA rules in the FIBA league, we would destroy the entire world. But we don't play by NBA rules in the FIBA league. We play by FIBA rules where you can goaltend. It's a little more physical when you push somebody and they're going to pick your player and you push them into another player. That's not a foul.
I'm talking about talent-wise. bodies.
That's still that you can't. It's just a different game. Yes, talent has gotten a little bit better across the world, but not significantly.
We have starters. We have stars that's playing for international teams now. We didn't have that back then.
Well, here's the thing. To that argument, of the 92 guys playing guys that were nobodies. Does anybody remember in 92, because I remember, why the U.S. started sending their NBA talent to the Olympics? Do you remember why they started sending them?
Yeah, because our college kids was getting their butts
Because we were
whooped.
getting our butts whooped in Olympic play.
But it's supposed to have been an amateur, quote-unquote
I
amateur.
believe that Michael Jordan in his last collegiate game is the last one to win a gold medal as a collegiate player.
When he went on.
When he won. Before he won in 92, he did win as a collegiate player, right? So, with that said, the world had caught up to the U.S. then as well. So, what are we going to do? Are we going to, diminish the fact that the 92 team went in and showed the world that they still don't play good enough basketball, and that's what incited the world to step their game up? I still don't believe that the level of talent is so much more higher. Most of the players that do, with the exception of maybe Jokic, Murray, give me a couple of more starters that are foreign players that played for other teams.
Schroeder,
he's not a starter. He's an off-the-bench guy.
he was starting in Toronto.
He's an off-the-bench guy. He's not a starter. He's not a perennial starter.
He started
He started a few games. He's a patchwork starting player. He's a good enough player.
He started 2 seasons with the Lakers.
Okay.
Okay.
The Lakers are garbage, so that's...
Look, man, you know what? Anyway, we can talk about women's basketball now, because this is becoming very annoying right now.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing.
Okay.
No. But he's not like, you can't put him on every team and he's a starter, is my point. He's not like, you put Jokic on any team, he's a starter. You put Curry on any team, he's a starter. You put even
put some respect on Dennis Schroeder, please.
He's okay. I don't even think he started for Germany, bro. Like, I think he came off the bench. I don't think he did. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna look, but I don't think he did. I don't think he was a starter. I could be wrong. I'll take that. But I'm almost certain that he was not a starter for Germany.
SGA.
Okay. There's another one. So that's 4.
One of the Wagner brothers started in the NBA.
Okay, that's 5.
Like what I'm saying. I mean,
that's 5 players out of the entire world that could be starters.
Rui Hachimura started with the Lakers, and he started for Japan.
He's not a starter. He's not a starter.
Could
you put him on any team and he'd be a starter? I'm not talking about your team. Could you put him on any team in the league and he'd be a starter?
He started with the Wizards. With the Washington Wizards.
He was oh my God. Could you put him on any team? Could he go to any team and be a starter?
Bro.
A starter on the Wizards who are garbage doesn't matter. A starter on the Lakers who aren't necessarily garbage, but they're not a great team.
They are NBA teams.
That doesn't matter.
So what teams you want?
There's a lot of players that make it to the NBA that aren't great players.
Pick some NBA teams then that they couldn't. I mean, just Golden State. He wouldn't be a starter on Golden State. Okay, so that's right. So
he wouldn't be a starter on the Nuggets.
Okay, pick the teams you want.
He wouldn't be a starter on the Bulls. He wouldn't be a starter on the Orlando Magic. He wouldn't be a starter on Miami. He wouldn't be a starter. I mean, I really can do this all day.
They have their stars. They have. You talking about replace?
No, I'm talking about the fact that if you're gonna talk about elite play coming from the world, or that the world has stepped up, you have to show me that these players could step into the NBA on any team and be a starter. Then, because every person that's on the USA men's team starts in the NBA.
So you saying Bam Adebayo? You saying Bam Adebayo can play for any NBA team?
He could be a power forward on any team
and do the same thing he do in Miami.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could. Bam Adebayo could play and start on any team, except for maybe 2, and that's because he couldn't start over AG on the Nuggets. And there's like a couple of other teams that have good power forwards or centers that he wouldn't be able to play on.
Well, I don't.
But for the most part, he could go to any team and be a starter. Guaranteed. He can go to any team.
These players now
Hachimura
are better.
could not go to.
These players are better now. I mean, we can agree to disagree, but
They're different now. The game is different now. I would
'Cause
not
it's
say
FIBA.
that they are definitely better. It's just that they play a different style of game.
Okay, we can agree
it's
to disagree.
basketball, but
It's
it's
okay.
different. It's
okay.
different.
We can agree to disagree.
I don't
We can
think
talk
the
ab-
competition level is any better than what Kobe played against. I don't think the competition. I mean, he played against his own
Right, he played against
teammate.
Oh shit!
He played against his own teammate in when they played against Spain, right? That competition
Spain
level
was cool. They had
Spain is good.
Rudy Fernandez. You know,
Spain is good, but they only had 2 guys on their entire team named Gasol that could start. Both of them had the last name of Gasol that could start in the NBA. The rest of their team, not so much. There are players that play in the world that play in the NBA, but they're not. Most of them are either G Leaguers or sit on the bench. They are not starting caliber players. So yes, has the world been able to send over players and play in the NBA, and they have gotten better? To a certain extent, yes. But why, if the world is better, then why does everybody keep coming to the NBA instead of the NBA going to the world?
because as far as notoriety, most of these players in other countries, that's how they pattern their game off of these NBA players. So a shot to go to the NBA and play against them or on their same team, heck yeah. They want. That's one of the reasons why they want to go to the NBA. You know. But
and I
yeah,
disagree with you, Mark. Bam is that good. Bam is a great defensive player.
I agree with you,
Mark. He plays the pick and roll better than most big men in the league.
Ask Mark what he think. Ask Mark his opinion.
He just said not Bam. Bam is not that good.
But
I
I'm
said
sorry,
I disagree.
far as like, you know, the competition wise, it's much better now.
I think he already says that. The rules were changed that allowed professionals to join Olympic play.
Yeah.
He said the 92 team were playing nobodies, but
They weren't.
The whole reason why that 92 team was assembled was because the world had already caught up to the amateur level play of basketball.
No, they was
Russia had won gold. All of these other countries were winning in world play in the Olympics. That's why they brought NBA players into the fold.
Because these grown men, they was whipping on these college boys. You know what I'm saying? And the United States said, you know what? We're going to send our men to go against your men. And our men destroyed their men.
And a lot of the NBA and a lot of those NBA players on that team, with the exception of Jordan, were already past their prime. Were they not?
Right. Except for Christian Laettner.
And he didn't even get to play. Well, except for maybe Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, but everybody else was past their prime.
Yeah.
Bird,
Yeah.
like all of them, Ewing, all of them were past their prime.
Yeah.
And they still dominated. But I don't really compare eras of basketball like most people do. I think that each era has their dominance. And that includes the NBA and Olympics.
But that's barbershop talk, man.
Each era.
That's barbershop talk.
Well, that's
Everybody
what we
want
do.
to
That's
sit
what we do
around.
here.
This the sports barbers. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we do here.
We just
We're
want
having a conversation.
We want to, you know, it might seem that we kind of get heated in certain things. But,
I have
you know,
watched the games before, Mark. Sorry, I'm just debating with Mark here.
See, he even arguing
I
with
have
Mark.
watched the footage. I have watched those games. The talent level of the NBA players at that time was superior to the world, but there weren't as many world players in the NBA at that time. Like it's not that I'm disagreeing with you. I just don't think that to say the talent is better is overshadowing the greatness of that era of basketball. During that time of basketball, those players were the most dominant of that time, period. These are the most dominant of this time. You could make the argument that it's a little bit harder to win gold as America because of the world, because I think we had this debate not too long ago that the world is, or basketball is a world sport now. Right? It's not just soccer. It's basketball's a world sport.
It's a world sport, not the world sport.
It's we can have that debate again if you want, because not everyone in the world loves soccer, but everyone in the world does love basketball. So one could argue that basketball is the world sport.
I bet more people in the world love soccer more than basketball. Yeah, I bet, buddy. So don't.
I know a lot of those basketball players do play soccer. I know that because even Jokic plays soccer. Like I've seen him kicking basketballs, and so does what's his name?
That'll look
plays
weird.
For Dallas. Why am I losing?
Luka Doncic, old man.
Why can't I know I'm losing my mind, boy. You frustrate me.
Do you know my name?
No. Unfortunately,
he said no.
I don't want to know your name.
I try to forget.
Mark says we're the sports barbers.
Thank you, Mark. I got that lineup you need. Thank you, Mark. Mark is our
he's our voice of reason,
right? Mark.
That'll be the day when Mark is a voice of reason. And soccer does have more fans worldwide. It just doesn't happen here. That's my argument. We don't revere soccer as much here, so that doesn't make it the world sport. But everybody in the world loves basketball, so that makes it the world sport.
So basically, the world is America.
No,
to you.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying America's a part of the world.
Yeah,
and if you're going to call soccer the world sport, it would mean that all of the world loves that sport. Well, not all of the world loves that sport.
Majority.
That's not the point.
The majority.
The majority, okay.
I mean, I know it's part of the world. Sometimes they don't act like it.
Can I get a fade? I'll fade. You get, boy, stop. This boy.
Oh, I know all about that.
Yeah. All right. Now it is time to have a little bit of fun now that we've gotten that out of our system.
I'm glad I'm playing and not you, because you can't remember nothing.
Okay, well, let's see how much you remember, sir. Let's see how much exactly you remember. All right, so this is a segment we have started up called Can We Stump Larry? You guys are more than welcome to... I'm going to set up an email. I keep saying this, and I am going to set up an email. But as of right now, you can send it to knightjrarthur80@gmail.com, knightjrarthur80@gmail.com. Send me a player that you think you can stump Larry with, and we will try to stump Larry. All right. So, starting off.
Last week wasn't fair.
Well, we ran out of time last week. We got plenty of time this week.
If I had time,
I just want
you'd be in trouble.
Okay. We about to find out, though, bro. We about to find out right now. And let's go. All right, this player is a shooting guard. That's all I'm going to give you, because if I give you anything else, you'll just guess it right off the top.
Yeah.
He is a shooting guard.
In
a 90s shooting guard. I'll give you that.
John Starks.
It is not John Starks, but a good guess. All right. Nickname is Killer. And he was drafted in the first round and the 11th pick.
Wow.
I'll even give you, it was in the 1987 NBA draft.
Oh, Reggie Miller.
All right, my man. You got a bell on there? You got a good bell for him? There we go. All right. That one seems like a little too easy, but I wanted to give you a softball question off top. Like, last week I gave you some hard ones. I'm not gonna front. I was trying to stump you. That's the name of the game. I'm trying to stump you. But I gave you a soft one this time. Mm-hmm. This next one I don't think you're gonna get.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you his nickname because that would give it away.
Oh man.
But this guy played small forward and shooting guard in the 90s as well. Who am I?
Small forward shooting guard in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Rice.
That's a good guess, but no. All right. This player played in college at Alabama. Alabama!
Ooh.
But he's out of Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Who am I? Bam.
I don't know, Brian Stiff.
That is not Brian Stith. That was a good guess, though.
We have our 50th subscriber.
All right. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So last hint. This is your last hint. This player was drafted to the Golden State Warriors in the first round. Who am I? He is also a four-time. Hold on, let me give you one more. He is also a four-time All-Star. And
Joe Smith.
Nope.
Damn.
Nope. Do you want to know who it is?
Sure.
All right. His most famous commercial was "Owns It."
Don't know.
Really? For Golden State? You don't remember that commercial with Latrell Sprewell? 3-point line, owns it. Free throw line, owns it. Baseline, owns it. You don't remember that?
The landlord.
Well, his other nickname was Spree, but I knew if I gave you either one of his nicknames, you would get him.
He said, time to pay rent.
Time to pay rent.
Yeah.
Why?
Dang, I didn't know
Great
he went
player.
to Alabama.
Yeah, he's in Alabama. He was drafted by the Golden State Warriors, first round, 24th pick. Overall in the 1992 draft.
Right.
Made his NBA debut November 6th, but I remember that commercial
right.
back in the day. I think it was his shoe commercial.
PJ Carlissimo in practice. He socked
did.
him. He rocked his world.
He did.
Okay.
All right, last but not least. Definitely not least. All right, I'm just going to start with his position, but this player is actually from the 70s and 80s. Played small forward. Who am I?
Alice English.
Are you for real?
Yep.
It is Alex English. Vinny can't give him the bell because he's serving customers, but ding, ding, ding. I think you have a great day, brother.
2-1, baby.
2 for 1.
Basketball
2 for
is
1.
my life, man.
No, I think you saw it in my glasses, dog.
No, basketball is, I breathe this.
I said 70s and 80s, small forward. This dude said Alex English. How you pull that? I mean, Mark even said Chris Mullen. Oh, my goodness. That was a good guess, though, Mark. That was a good guess. That's funny. That's funny. So, yeah, Alex English out of South Carolina.
That was a bad boy.
Yeah, man.
He always put
the
English
Blade,
on it. Man.
Flick was his nickname. Dude, he was a bad man.
I don't care, man. That's the greatest Nugget they ever played.
I actually agree with you.
That boy, man. I watched him when he came to the Forum.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he couldn't miss. I mean, man.
Yeah, and guess what round he was drafted in, though, by Milwaukee?
Which round?
The second round.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He was the sixth pick in the second round, or 23rd overall, if you really want to be a nerd about it. But yeah, man. Played his first 2 seasons in Milwaukee, then Indianapolis. Then I'm not sure where the hell he went. And then he came to Denver. Finished out his days in Denver. Played for Denver for almost a decade, man. He's the one that got me into basketball, bro. In 1983-84, that season is the year that Mr. Arthur Knight fell in love with basketball. Like, literally, I was bitten and smitten, bro. Like, basketball was my thing, just watching this man play the game.
That's pretty cool.
Man, like, for real.
1984 was mine. I mean, I really got into it watching Byron Scott.
Oh, Byron Scott was good.
Man, he was his
so
rookie year. You know, I guess he got traded for Norm Nixon. You know, but just watching, I know that they choked in the finals against the Celtics, but the year later, they won in '85. But yeah, he was sensational.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame player. He had 15 years. 3-time All-NBA, 8-time All-Star, 1982-83 scoring champion. Yeah, and it was probably that year, man. I was about 3 years old, about 4 years old. Yeah. My dad was a huge basketball fan, obviously a Denver Nuggets fan, and he's from Mississippi, so he wasn't even like born and raised here. He just
was
moved
like
here.
my first Alex English was my first jersey that I collected actually as a non-Laker because I collect all jerseys. But
that's respect.
I made sure that Alex English was my first and then after that I got
now
a Jordan.
peep this out. This will blow your mind. This man averaged 21.5 points in a game where there wasn't a 3-point line really yet. Like it wasn't utilized like it is today. He averaged almost 22 points a game.
The highest score.
That's crazy.
The highest score in the whole decade.
At 50%, almost 51% click, scoring 21.5 points a game.
And the thing that makes me mad is that he didn't get enough love, from the NBA.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
he got enough love to where he's in the Hall of Fame, so
he should have been a top 50 player.
He definitely should be in that arena, man.
He's a top 75 now.
21, 6, and 4 at small forward.
For a whole decade.
For 15 years.
No, but
15 years in the league. 15 years in the league.
No, but I'm saying like consecutive. He averaged for 10 years. That's a long time. Consecutive.
Well, no, this is his career.
No, okay. I'm not talking about his career. I'm talking about consecutive wise. Like far as like leading scorer.
Oh yeah,
he's
for a decade. Yeah,
leading scorer in the NBA for it. It wasn't
until Jordan got on the scene that really he started to get outshined.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. So that was fun. I can only stump him once with Latrell Sprewell. Who was
2-1, baby.
Yeah, you went 2-1.
2-1.
2-1. We'll give you that.
Heavy lifting.
Speaking of heavy lifting, man, this Michaela Skinner's got some heavy lifting to do about what she said. She got some heavy lifting and heavy explaining to do.
I wish Vinny was here so he can hit the cry baby button.
For her?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about it, man. So you brought me this story. What's going on? Like she was talking.
Yeah,
she was throwing shade.
She was the shadiest. She is the shadiest of shade. We should call her Michaela Shady. Because the thing is...
And now she's trying to play victim because she's getting cyberbullying. Like, you talk smack about somebody else, and now people are calling you out on it. And all of a sudden, you're the victim. You're the victim now?
They're giving me death threats, me and my family.
Come on, man.
Simone, please. If there's anything you can do to stop this, it would be duly appreciated.
She's talking about, I sincerely hope that this topic wouldn't need to be revisited. But unfortunately, things have really gotten out of hand lately. So, in other words, I didn't know somebody was listening or somebody was recording me or somebody was going to post what I said.
She did an interview.
And I'm just...
That's what her words.
I'm saying, though.
Her words.
She acting as if, no, she wasn't being recorded. Nobody was listening. Like... You said what you said. Stand on it or apologize. That's it. That's it. There's no, oh, well, now I'm being bullied and now I'm da-da-da. You were bullying. You were bullying other players because you weren't chosen or whatever the reason is, because I've read the article, but she hasn't given a reason why she's even made that comment. Do you know? Because I don't have any quotes from her except for the ones I just read.
She says she felt that the 2024 team is not really inspiring. I was like, okay, so...
The Golden Girls? You mean the ones that won all the gold medals?
So basically, I don't want to be inspired if I win in the gold. Then if that's the case, to your logic, you know?
Was she not on the team? Am I missing? What am I missing here? Why was she throwing so much shade? Because I've read this article, but I still don't... She has not said, nobody has said why she threw the initial shade. Was it because she wasn't on the team?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You would think she's showing shade because she wasn't on the team, but she didn't. I guess she didn't make it. But the thing is, if you didn't make it, why would you?
Right. So you didn't make it. So you decided to talk ill or throw shade at the people who did, and now you're being. And this is what cracks me up. And I'm not trying to get political, but this is what cracks me up about our country sometimes. Is everybody does have freedom of speech. But everybody has freedom of speech. So if you say something, somebody has the right to say something in response to what you said. And as long as it's not threatening your life, like like the cyberbullying she's claiming that she's getting. And I'm not trying to belittle cyberbullying. Don't get me wrong. Cyberbullying is a thing, and it's a terrible thing. Bullying, period, you shouldn't have to go through. But the fact of the matter is you were trolling, you were bullying, and all of a sudden now that you're getting called out on your BS, now all of a sudden you're the victim of bullying and you're the victim of this, that, or the third.
I would say she's un-American.
Well, that's a bridge too far in my opinion, but at least qualify your statement.
Well, you're not supporting your team. You're not supporting the USA, right?
Okay. I mean, that's, I guess that's fair.
I mean,
I don't know if you're criticizing, like I criticize the men's basketball. Okay. Okay. That came off a little not sarcastic. That was
let me be funny.
Yeah. Let's make sure we say that. Cause,
hi FBI.
We don't want no smoke whatsoever. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you for tuning in. On behalf of the Sportz Phenz show, I am Arthur Knight. This is Larry Perkins, Vinny behind the boards. We appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And make sure you come by and visit Vinny at Sohai Cafe, 4300 West Alameda. Come get you some ribs. Come get you some wings, some burnt ends. And don't forget that home-style mac and cheese. We will see y'all next week on Sunday. Peace.
Yep.